What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today we got another banger for y'all, man. So look, we got the 10 worst crashes in F1 history. Video brought to us by Watch Mojo. We about to run this one up right here, man. I did some NASCAR crashes. I did some IndyCar crashes. I mean, I do all types of crash videos, if we just gonna be honest, man. All crash videos, man. We going up. Now we got the F1 crashes. I've done some F1 crash videos before. I've probably done at least 2 to 3 of them, to be honest with you, man. So we gonna run this one up right here, though. Y'all let me know more videos you want to see. If you got other F1 videos you want to see, IndyCar, NASCAR, street race, anything car related, send that in the comments. Get at me on Instagram, Twitter, all that. Also, for my real supporters, my real ones, the ones who really fuck with your boy, man, who really rock with your boy, man. I do got a Patreon up, man. I don't know if y'all know that or not. I haven't been promoting it as much lately, but I do got a Patreon. It's only literally $1, bro. I want to do some giveaways when I get like 100. If or when I get to 100 subscribers on Patreon, I'm going to do a giveaway. Another one probably at 200, 300, 400, 500, all the way up to 1,000, basically. So get up over there, man. I got crazy videos I'm uploading on that. I got crazy videos I'm uploading over there. And if you guys want to see more videos on there that I can't upload to YouTube because it's too crazy, too explicit, just too wild overall, get at me, message me over there so I can react to it. Anyways, let's get into this. Watch Mojo F1 crashes.
And the roll hoop
Damn.
and the halo very much doing its job before the card digs in.
Dog.
You do not ever want to see accidents like that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at the 10 worst crashes in F1 history.
Big fire there as they exited out of turn 3, and that looks very nasty indeed, and unsurprisingly,
that looks like the Roman Growan crash. I'm not sure if that is or not, but that looks like the Roman Growan crash.
A red flag.
For this list, we're looking at the most devastating crashes to take place in F1. Sadly, because some of these crashes resulted in deaths. A content warning is in effect. Which of these crashes had you covering your eyes? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Lorenzo Bandini at the 1967 Monaco Grand Prix. At the 1967 Monaco Grand Prix, Lorenzo Bandini was trailing in second place behind Denny Hulme when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed.
Now Bandini. Bandini's crashed.
Ooh, son!
It looks like it's upside down, Phil.
The car
Dog, that looks like a wildfire, bro. Like if you looked up the biggest fires ever, like this looks like a wildfire, bro. That don't look like a car fire. That looked like a gas station blew up, dog. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be crazy.
Flipped, and its fuel tank broke, which resulted in the car bursting into
Bro, that's a quarter-mile strip of just fire and smoke and fuel.
flames. Marshall struggled with rescuing Bandini, as the flames constantly grew and made the task all the more difficult. Although Bandini was eventually pulled out of the vehicle, he had still sustained third-degree burns. He was taken to the hospital, but sadly, he passed away 3 days later. He was 30.
Rest in peace to anybody who lost their life in this video. I'm just going to throw that in there at the beginning because there's always somebody commenting, why did you react to this? This is people, it's Watch Mojo's video on YouTube. Why don't you ask them why they made this video? You know, don't ask me why I react to it. Ask them why they made the video. But I just want to throw that out there, like, rest in peace to anybody who passed away in this video. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
31 years of age. Gilles Villeneuve passed away 3 days later. He was 31 years of age.
31, man.
Gilles Villeneuve, the 1982 Belgian Grand Prix. Near the end of the qualifier session of this edition of the Belgian Grand Prix, Gilles Villeneuve aimed to improve his position and lap time, so he attempted to cut another racer. There was clearly confusion as to which side he should complete the maneuver. He went right and hit the vehicle he attempted to pass. Villeneuve's car flipped several times. The subsequent impact was so devastating, it resulted in Villeneuve being launched out of the vehicle. He was rushed to the hospital, but hours later it was announced that he had passed away. Jules Bianchi, the 2014 Japanese Grand Prix. In F1 races, one crash often leads to another, but none have been under such unusual circumstances. During a lap of this race, as a result of weather conditions, Sauber's Adrian Sutil would go off the track and hit a wall. A crane was used by marshals to remove the vehicle. During the removal process,
Dog, what? Dude crashes, a crane comes out. I don't even know why they need a crane. A crane comes out to handle whatever with the crash, and then somebody crashes into the crane. That's like a movie, bro. Come on. That's a video game, dog. Like, that's F1 online, bro. Like, what?
Marussia's Jules Bianchi wound up driving directly into the crane. He was unconscious and was subsequently placed in intensive care. He later passed away as a result of the head injuries he sustained during the accident.
He will be much missed in the Formula One paddock.
Ronnie Peterson, the 1978 Italian Grand Prix. Crashing the vehicle he was meant to drive at the race during a practice session, Team Lotus's Ronnie Peterson was forced to drive an older model instead. Along with his vehicle facing technical difficulties, the main...
I don't think F1 is something where you play around with the vehicles that you use. I'm not an expert on F1. I didn't really ever even watch F1 like that. I've only played video games and stuff. But I just don't... I feel like they're going too fast. The vehicles are way too fragile to an extent. And there's just way too much at risk for you to be playing around with what vehicle you're using. If you can't use the vehicle you know, the vehicle you've practiced in, the vehicle you did qualifying times in, the vehicle you've been training to drive for this race for X amount of time, if you can't use that vehicle, I mean... Nah, it's a wrap, bro, because an older model means that you got to get the older model, means you weren't prepping the older model to be ready for the race. You haven't had, multiple teams of mechanics make sure the vehicle is prepped and ready to go specifically for the race. And it's just an older vehicle, which means older parts, more likely to have issues and technical problems and engine and malfunctions and all that. In a race or a type of race that's just way too risky for that. Like, in my eyes, y'all let me know if I'm tripping or not. Maybe this happens all the time, but to me that just don't make any sense.
Main race began as the flag was dropped before all the cars were in their respective positions. The ensuing havoc and confusion caused by the error resulted in Peterson's vehicle colliding with a McLaren driven by James Hunt. Peterson's Lotus would then hit a barrier and burst into flames. Hunt and several crew members were able to get Peterson out of the vehicle and he was rushed to the hospital. The next morning, Peterson was pronounced dead as a result of a fat embolism. Romain Grosjean, the 2020 Bahrain Grand Prix.
I've seen this one. I got a whole separate video on this. If you guys want to check it out, just look up... go to my channel and just look up his name and you'll find it. I think I got maybe 2 videos on that, actually.
During the
ordinary. Yeah.
Just the car
has gone through the barrier, you see. The car's
walked
gone
out of that
through
too.
the barrier.
Despite all odds, Grosjean was able to remove his race boot, escape the vehicle, and ultimately save himself. Surprisingly, he left relatively unscathed, having only suffered minor burns and spraining his left ankle. Having only been inside the vehicle a mere 28 seconds after the crash had occurred, it is truly a miracle that he survived and was able to escape an almost certain fate.
I thought about my kids and I said, no, I cannot die today.
Alberto Ascari, the 1955 Monaco Grand Prix. Trailing behind Sterling Moss in this race for the lead, Alberto Ascari was in luck when the engine of Moss's Mercedes broke down. The opportunity to take the lead, however, was missed, as Ascari's vehicle swerved out of control, crashed through, however, was in luck when the... Trailing behind Sterling Moss...
1955, bro. I was like tripping. I'm looking at these, I'm like, wait,
in this race for the...
These were the first F1 cars? Look like a little pocket rocket. Literally a little pocket rocket. That's crazy. They hand painted the 26. Had some hand painters come up in there, man. It was crazy. Look at that. Look at that grill. That's wild.
The lead. Alberto Ascari was in luck when the engine of Mas's Mercedes broke down. The opportunity to take the lead, however, was missed, as Ascari's vehicle swerved out of control, crashed through a barrier and directly into the Mediterranean Sea.
Ascari has overshot the chicane. The car has somersaulted straight into the harbour.
The car sank, but fans breathed a sigh of relief when Ascari appeared on the surface. He was subsequently rescued and hauled out of the water.
A motor launch has picked Ascari up, and he is brought over to the harbour side, where an ambulance is waiting.
Despite the harsh nature of the crash, Ascari came out of the whole ordeal with a broken nose and some bruises.
Straight.
Wolfgang von Trips,
Straight, bro.
the 1961
Wow.
Italian Grand Prix. On the second lap of the Italian Grand Prix race in 1961, two cars on the track came in contact with one another. While one of the cars, driven by Jim Clark, came to a halt, the other, driven by Wolfgang von Trips, was spinning out of control and struck a section of spectators.
Oh my God,
15 of
bro.
von Trips was spinning out of control and struck a
Yo, that thing spinning like a helicopter blade, just smacking people all up in their face, bro. Just F1 car just in rotation, smacking people in their face. That's crazy, dog. I would, what? What? Imagine after that happens, bro. Like, I'm not over there no more. I'm like, let me get somewhere else, bro. Let me get a little farther back, bro, because I'm not about to be next. That's some Final Destination type of shit.
section of spectators,
Oh my gosh.
15 of whom were killed. Von Trips was thrown out
15?
a section of spectators, 15 of whom were killed. Von Trips was thrown out of the vehicle and did not survive the accident.
Oh my God.
Despite this horrific sequence of events, the race continued, and Von Trips' teammate, Phil Hill, went on to win the race.
Yo, this is in 1961? Bro. Dude crashes, who races, dies. In the crash, 15 other people get killed. Probably another number of people probably got injured or had injuries. And they say, well, oh well, get his homie, we putting him in the other whip, and we gonna continue with the race. That to me is crazy. Like, what? I mean, I get it, because it's like, it's a race, it's the Grand Prix, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it matters, whatever, like, I get it. But it's not like, to me, what's crazy is not, because it's not just like the racer died. If the racer died or whatever, wop-de-wop, got to continue the race. If a football player dies in the middle of the Super Bowl, guess what? They're going to continue the Super Bowl. Promise you on that. But the fact that 15 spectators died to me, and you still continued the race, the racer and 15 spectators get killed, and you still going to continue, to me is wild. Obviously, probably a lot of people didn't die instantly or on the scene, but, I mean, come on, man.
Drivers only became aware of the crash and its severity after the race, leaving many to
Okay.
question why it had not been stopped. Niki Lauda,
Exactly.
the 1976 German Grand Prix.
Niki
One of
Lauda.
the greatest and biggest stars to ever get behind the wheel.
I know him.
This Austrian legend was involved in one of the most horrific accidents in F1 history.
Yeah.
During the second lap of the race, out of nowhere, Lauda's car swerved out of control and caught on fire. Several drivers and staff assisted in pulling Lauda out of the vehicle, but despite escaping, he received severe burns all over.
And the initial prognosis was that he had little chance of survival. The nature of his injuries was such that a priest was called to administer the last rites.
Even though he was in critical condition and went into a coma, Lauda remarkably survived the ordeal and would make an incredible comeback after 6 weeks, and he later went on to win 2 more world titles.
6 weeks
Ronnie
is crazy.
Ratzenberger, the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix.
At the conclusion of this afternoon's final qualifying session for tomorrow's San Marino Grand Prix, I sadly have to report that the news is bad.
During a qualifying session of the San Marino Grand Prix in 1994, the nose wing of this 31-year-old's vehicle had gotten detached. The car subsequently went off the track and slammed directly into a barrier. Ratzenberger had suffered a skull fracture so severe he was pronounced dead shortly after medical staff arrived at the site of the crash.
It was the first time that we have to face a dead Formula One driver for our generation. The whole atmosphere was very heavy that afternoon, you know, and everybody was thinking about what are we doing here, or what's the point, you know.
Worst of all, many believed the tragedy could have been prevented, as Ratzenberger was aware of the issue with his vehicle, but opted to complete another lap instead.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Y'all get what I'm coming from? Like, this is not a sport where you play around with your vehicle. That could mean life or death, bro. For real, though. Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the last tragedy to take place at the 1994 Grand Prix in San Marino.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe, be
You
notified,
guys are
and
slick.
94's
Okay.
on notifications.
Ayrton Senna, Ayrton Senna, I know he is. I got a video on him, though. I know there's somebody out there who wants me to do the Top Gear Ayrton Senna video. Bro, Top Gear videos are so hard to upload, bro. They literally block. I just dropped the Ken Block Top Gear video. Go watch that. I dropped that one. I had to upload that 42 times, bro. And I had to just keep cutting it. 42 times, bro. I don't want to do that anytime soon. So there might not be Top Gear Ayrton Senna for a long... Maybe I'll do it, put it on Patreon. Go sign up.
Ayrton Senna, the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix.
Senna! My goodness! I just saw him plunge off to the right. What on earth happened there? I don't know.
On lap 7 of the main race, Brazilian and three-time champ Ayrton Senna had taken a comfortable lead over Benetton's Michael Schumacher. At one point coming up on the corner, he attempted to make a turn, only for his vehicle to skid off the track and crash into a wall. The accident was so devastating the car's front wheel and nose were torn off.
Ayrton ran out of luck. He did not have a broken bone in his body.
Wow.
He did not have any bruising. If that piece of assembly would have gone 6 inches higher or 6 inches lower, he would have walked back to the paddock.
Although he was pulled out of the vehicle, he was in critical condition, and despite receiving medical treatment, it was to no avail, and he passed away later that evening.
Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace, bro.
2 steps better than everyone others.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other...
Man, that was crazy. That was heavy. I didn't think it was going... Usually with, like, crash videos, and because it was Watch Mojo, I didn't think there would be no, like... Oh, well, out of these 10 crashes, 8 people died. Or 37 people died within these 8 crashes. I was not expecting that, man. Anyways, 10 worst crashes in F1 history. Y'all let me know how you feel about it, man. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. Make sure to go check out the Patreon, all that stuff, man. That's pretty much it. Drive safe out there. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember to keep it real, real rare. Real always reaches everyone next time. Peace.